What is good, YouTube, man? Today, I'm back with another banger reaction video. I'm reacting to the 5 most disturbing diving videos. I don't know what we're about to witness. Bro, if you ever realized, 95% of the fucking ocean hasn't been discovered. We have no clue what's in the ocean. Something scary down there. Some they don't want to tell us, you feel me? Yeah, I'm not gonna get into it though. They're watching. They're watching. Let's get right into the shit, man. Before we start though, we got some food, some popcorn. We roll up. 2025, bro. I gotta be careful what I say, bro. So when I said they are watching me, I mean like in a GTA form. You feel me? YouTube. I'm not talking about no one else. You feel me? I'm not talking about no one. Okay. I'm saying hypothetically speaking. All right. I just need to make that clear before all hell goes loose and Purple Wacky's gone. Alright? So let's just get started.
2019, 40-year-old Steven Weber Jr. and his girlfriend Kanisha Antoine went on a vacation to Pemba Island.
Dude, now I think about it, I've never seen someone match a fedora like that. He has a different type of swag, and I respect it. You see that fedora, bro? Woo-hoo! That man means business. Don't fuck with him.
Steven had been dating Kanisha for a while by this point and had planned to propose to her during this trip. What neither of them knew, however, was that the happiest trip of their lives was about to turn into an irreversible tragedy.
Why?
The groundwork for this tragedy was laid when the two arrived at the island and checked in to stay at the rental resort just off the coast. It had a nice, uninterrupted view of the...
What the fuck? That's not an island. This is a little fucking hut. This is a 4x4. This is the scariest thing ever. Why would anyone want to do this? How much is this? They just wasted their money. Bro. What the fuck? They have a bed on top? Oh my god, it's the freakiest thing ever.
The ocean, as well as a roof area to relax and enjoy the tropical weather. However, the most important feature of this resort was the underwater room, which offered a 360-degree view of the marine life surrounding the resort. This room served as the whole idea behind how Steven had planned to propose. He put on swimming goggles and dived down to one of the windows in this room, prompting Kanisha to begin recording. He then unrolled a paper note inside a Ziploc bag and pressed it against the window. It read, "I can't hold my breath long enough to tell you everything I love about you, but everything I love about you, I love more every day." He then flipped the note, and on the other side was a marriage proposal for Kanisha, reading, "Will you please be my wife?"
Oh, it's so cute.
Did she even... No way you read it that fast! No way she read it that fast! Bro, no one in their right mind can read that shit that fast, yo! That at least has to take me 5 seconds. Like, nah, not gonna lie, at least 30 seconds. Maybe a minute, bro. Come on, bro. No way! You instantly start laughing. You didn't even read it yet. No way.
What?
Wait, she's laughing. Wait, she's laughing. Why is she laughing? This motherfucker's dying. She thinks shit's all fun and games. She thinks all shit's sweet. Oh, hell no. What is all this? I can't skip. Thank you.
He'd also showed the wedding ring he brought for this occasion before swimming up to hear Kanisha's response. At this point, Kanisha stopped recording and rushed to the surface floor, eager to give her answer. But once she looked outside, instead of a smiling Steven, she saw nothing. Steven was nowhere to be seen. Kanisha climbed the roof, hoping he might have been up there. Unfortunately, there were no signs of Steven.
She was lost there all alone.
He had vanished, somewhere between showing her the ring and swimming up to the surface. After understanding the full gravity of the situation, Kanisha called for help, with several locals rushing to her aid. Unfortunately, it took some time to find Steven. He was floating in the water, and by that point, it was already too late. Some resort workers tried to revive him with CPR, however, it wasn't effective. Steven had miscalculated how long he could hold his breath underwater and drowned before he could reach the surface. You can even see his hand shaking as he holds the ring near the end of the video.
Yeah, look
his
at him.
body
He can't
desperately
breathe.
telling him he needs air now.
And she was
But
sitting there
in an effort to
laughing.
get his point across and make the moment that much more special, he ignores this and unfortunately pays the ultimate price.
Fuck, man.
Mini Joe is a YouTube channel that
That was a
occasionally
nice
posted
proposal too, bro. That was nice and thoughtful. I would have never thought about that. What do y'all? I never even thought about like, what am I gonna do when I propose to a bitch? Am I hitting with a nice like, yo? Am I we going in front of a beach, tradition, or am I doing it at the local McDonald's, Wendy's, Pizza Hut? Like, am I pulling that type of stunt? I don't know. You know, I really never really thought about it that hard. You know, one day. I've always seen them draw. I wanna do it at like a nice little Wendy's or something. I'm getting a 4 for 4 and shit. Turn around. You wanna marry me, dude? 4 for 4, little their fucking Frosties are probably the best Frosties ever, bro. You can never go wrong with the Wendy's Frosty. I always dip my nuggets and fries in the Frosty. Always, yo. Always. That's a must. If you don't do that, I don't know what you're doing, man. I don't know.
travel videos up until 3 years ago. Most of these were typical travel
lit.
vlogs showcasing the hosts
this
of
guy's
different
nuts.
expeditions around the world.
Hell yeah.
However, out of the roughly 30 videos they've uploaded,
What does
one
that say?
stands
I
out
don't
for
know.
just how disturbing it is. This video contains a collection of footage Joe and his friends captured while doing technical dives in the Blue
is
Hole
that?
in Dahab, Egypt, which is
shit,
often
that don't
considered
look
the
good.
deadliest diving spot in the world.
Wow,
There are a
caught it.
few conflicting reports on the total number, but most people agree that somewhere between 130 and 200 divers have met their end while trying to reach its depths. That is an average
That's a
of
lot.
8 lives lost per year, and unfortunately, the total is still going up. What's worse
fuck.
is that the remains of many victims are never recovered, which is exactly what made Mini Joe's video so unsettling. Their dive started off like any other, but
do you
as
mean?
they descended deeper, they came across the tanks, lines, and suits of those who came before and never made it back.
Oh my God.
Some of the remains were wedged into narrow crevices on the ocean floor, hinting at what might have gone wrong for them. Most were also taken over by the environment, suggesting they might have been down there for years.
Oh,
Above
shit.
all, these encounters served as a constant reminder of the true danger of technical diving.
What do you think got him?
Divers often have to carry multiple
Fucking
heavy tanks
Megalodon?
before they can even begin
Yo,
to descend.
do y'all think the Megalodon's still around? Or did it die? Or was it never real? Dude. I think there's something out there that's big as fuck. Have to be. Bro, Megalodon is real. Might have died. But bro, his little sperm, what do you call? I don't know why I'm blinking. His son. I'm tripping. Oh, what the fuck, bro? That took me forever to say that. His son could have had a son. Well, could have had a son. You feel me? He probably had a great dad, a great granddad, bro. You gotta think about it. There's probably something fucking huge out there that's related to Megalodon right now. 100%, bro. That's fucking shit up. Fucking shit up. And we have no clue. We just think that shit's a great white. Nah, motherfucker. That's Megalodon.
Then, once they're in the water, they have to
Megalodon's
constantly
little
monitor
nephew.
their oxygen levels while also
Megalodon's
staying aware
little
of their
nephew.
surroundings.
Yeah.
Things only become more dangerous the deeper
You gotta
they
watch
dive,
out, yo.
where even a
We're not
moment's
safe.
distraction
We're not
can
safe in the
quickly
water,
turn
bro.
fatal. However,
I'm
all
so
of this
scared
is
of the
true for
ocean,
any
bro.
dive, regardless of the location. What makes the Dahab Blue Hole
I still
even more
go in that
dangerous
shit.
is the
I
false
still
sense
go
of
in it.
security it provides. Blue holes, for those who don't know, are like vertical caves in oceans that go a lot deeper than the surrounding ocean
Oh,
floor.
hell no.
And the one in Dahab, Egypt, is an even more extreme version of that. One of the biggest contributors
What
to
the
its
fuck's down
deadliness
there?
is its depth of about 426 feet, or around 130 meters, which isn't very apparent from the surface. It's also an almost vertical drop to the bottom. This catches many new divers off guard, causing them to miscalculate their
scariest thing
gas
I've ever seen in my
levels
life.
and tragically become another name on the memorial near the
I don't want to
diving
be another
site.
name, dude. What
One of
the
the
fuck?
most well-known
There's
cases
a lot of names on
this
there, man.
is 22-year-old Yuri Lipsky, a Russian diving instructor with plenty of experience under his belt. However, he had no prior experience with the Dahab Blue Hole, resulting in it taking his life.
Oh,
The footage
shit.
from his recovered diving camera showed him descending
need
into the
experience
depths
to be
faster
down
than
there?
expected, struggling to keep his gas levels in check, trying to quickly slow down his descent, causing the buoyancy device to burst,
God.
and eventually succumbing to nitrogen poisoning in just 4 minutes after starting his
What
dive.
is that?
However, the sheer depth is only one part
the
of this
fuck
blue
was
hole's
that?
danger, As Mini Joe's video demonstrated, the other part of its lethality comes from the network of partially collapsed caves littered throughout the area. They promise incredible views and look like prime diving spots at first glance. But in all reality, they are deceptively difficult to navigate through. Narrow passages and jagged rocks are everywhere. A single mistake can leave a technical diver stuck in one of these caverns with no way out until their gas tanks inevitably run out. The terrain also makes for caverns with no way out until their gas tanks inevitably run out.
What the fuck? It's kind of disturbing looking. I don't really know what I'm looking at. It kind of looks like a lollipop. These look like lollipops for real.
The terrain also makes recovery extremely difficult, and many families of the fallen often opt to just leave their loved ones down there so as not to endanger even more lives in recovery attempts, which explains why Joe came across so many diving suits in his video.
Legato cinematic strings.
Come on, bro. This shit's fucking weak as fuck, yo.
Yeah. We are going
grown-ass man, by the way!
Which is the newest plugin
with that shit in his hair, yo! Get the fuck out of here, bro.
In July 2016, a diver named Jacob Charles went on a group diving trip off the coast of southeast Queensland, Australia. The boat stopped roughly 35 miles or about 56 kilometers off the coast, and Jacob was the second to last person to dive. However, a minute after entering the water, the diving line slipped out of his hand. He thought he could swim back to the boat and start over, but as he got closer, he was shocked to realize the rope had been pulled in. Before he could think of what to do next, a strong current swept the ocean's surface and separated him from the boat. To make matters worse, the captain of the boat also sped off to go fishing while everyone was diving. By the time the other divers got back to the boat and realized Jacob was missing, he was already completely out of their view, leaving him stranded in the middle of the ocean 35 miles from the nearest piece of land. That said, the distance from land was the least of Jacob's worries at that moment. For starters, the water around him was nearly 20 degrees Celsius, which is about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. This wasn't nearly cold enough to make him freeze up and pass out immediately, but it was cold enough to slowly sap away his body heat, making him more susceptible to hypothermia and exhaustion with every passing minute. It was also late in the afternoon, and the sun was about to go down, meaning it was only going to get worse. After a while, a rescue plane flew above him twice, but it didn't see him. And this was while it was still bright, and the inflatable indicator was visible from quite a distance. He knew that once it got dark, his chances of being rescued would drop to almost zero.
Well, the sun's going down. If the sun goes down, they won't do nothing.
Is there even like a... Like, is there like what do you do at this standpoint? Do you swim any direction? Like, is he doing the right thing by just staying there? I don't know. What do you do with this situation? Do you swim away? I don't know. I feel like I want to swim somewhere. But he's kind of just staying there. I don't really know.
I guess.
Kind of scary.
Unfortunately, there was nothing Jacob could do at that moment but wait and continue recording what possibly could be his last message to his family. Identifying the right direction and then swimming for over 35 miles would have been next to impossible. If he had taken it upon himself to try and reach the coast, he would have likely exhausted himself and drowned partway through. He did try to follow a fishing boat he saw in the distance, but quickly realized that he wouldn't be able to get close enough to get its attention, leaving him feeling dejected.
Fuck!
It's way too far for me. It'd be like 15, 16 meters now.
You're just in the fucking middle of nowhere. You see nothing around you. This is the scariest thing ever.
Besides, swimming too far from his original location would have also reduced his chances of being saved.
Oh my god, bro, I didn't even realize, bro. He's trouting water, bro, the whole time, bro. Fuck, bro. You know how bro. You know how tiring that is, bro? I would be panicking, bro. He's like way too calm. I'd actually be like, I don't even know what I would do at that point. I feel like the only way is to, I don't know actually. I honestly don't know. I don't know.
Teams would no longer know where to look. As the sky got darker and the rescue plane failed to spot him multiple times, the frustration was beginning to set in.
There's a plane coming back. There's a rescue boat. Way the over there. Helpful. That.
The salty seawater was also making him extremely dehydrated, worsening his chances of survival by the minute. However, Jacob was experienced enough to know that panicking or getting angry wouldn't do any good. The right thing to do was to stay put while exerting the least amount of effort. After drifting in the middle of nowhere for over 6 hours, he was finally spotted by a helicopter and brought to safety on a rescue boat.
Yes!
With the sun nearly below the horizon, he came dangerously close to losing his life that day. Fortunately, he was able to recover with no permanent injuries.
Oh my god, let's fucking go, bro.
On the 26th of May 2013, a group of 3 tugboats was trying to stabilize an oil tanker during a harsh storm nearly 20 miles or 32 kilometers off the coast of Nigeria. That's when one of the boats, named Jaskin 4, got hit by a massive rogue wave. This capsized the boat, causing it to sink rapidly and disappear below the water surface within seconds. The company behind this operation, West African Ventures, immediately sent off a rescue mission. However, the harsh weather made any immediate rescue efforts near impossible. They eventually sent a helicopter to look for any survivors who managed to swim back to the surface. Unfortunately, even after a full day of searching, they didn't find a single member of the Jaskin 4's crew who was still alive. This left the company with no choice but to presume the crew deceased and begin a body recovery diving mission instead. The task of retrieving the remains was handed down to 6 saturation divers who were laying underwater oil pipes nearby. The only reason they were chosen for the task was because they were the closest to the site of the incident. Still, it took them around a day to reach the site and begin looking for Jaskin 4. The harsh waves had shifted its position significantly from where it capsized, causing even more time lost before the retrieval mission could begin. Unfortunately, that was far from the only hurdle the rescue divers would face on this mission. Once they located the Jaskin 4 and dove down to it, they discovered that the boat had turned upside down. It was now resting on its primary mast, which could collapse at any time. Due to significant pirate activity in that area, all of the Jaskin 4's entrances were also locked shut, forcing the divers to use specialized underwater torches just to gain access. Sadly, their assumption turned out to be correct. By the afternoon of the 28th of May, 2 days after Jaskin 4 had sunk, the rescue team managed to recover the remains of 4 crew members, though 2 were still missing. But just as all hope seemed lost, one of the divers, named Tony Walker, made an incredible discovery. For some context, Tony was being instructed on what to do by his supervisor, Colby Veretz, from the surface. Tony was also inhaling a gas mixture which was partially helium, making his voice higher. While looking around the upside-down boat, he came across what looked like a human hand. He assumed it belonged to yet another fallen crew member, but to his surprise, the hand moved and grabbed him back.
That was the scariest thing ever. Oh my god, bro. Bro, I think I just shit myself.
Subaru
bro, stop giving me fucking ads!
Automotive donor to Meals on Wheels America.
Bro,
helping senior neighbors in need through the Share the Love event.
All right, so you should be walking on the ceiling, yeah? Okay. What's that? Okay. All right, you found one, yeah? He's alive. He's alive. Okay.
Fucking god.
All right. Just. All right. Just hold him there, okay? Just keep him there. Oh, I don't know what we're gonna do. All right, just keep him there and keep him calm, okay? All right, just reassure him, pat him on the shoulder. Okay.
Holy fuck.
This was 29-year-old Harrison O'Kenny, Jaskin 4's resident cook. After over 60 hours underwater, Harrison was somehow still alive.
God.
He also seemed quite aware of everything that was going on around him and remained calm to help the rescuers do their job. Apparently, Harrison was in the bathroom when the boat capsized. He tried to rush to the emergency latch, but water rushed in and trapped the crew inside. To his knowledge, Harrison was the only one who managed to survive after creating a makeshift indoor raft from plywood, cardboard, and a mattress. After finding him, rescuers gave him fresh water and a harness to keep him close. However, the divers knew they didn't have much time to plan a proper rescue mission. You see, the air pocket Harrison was in was about to run out, likely in less than an hour. Harrison could end up suffocating if they didn't act quick enough. On the other hand, they couldn't just strap him into a rope and pull him back to the surface.
It's impossible.
He had already spent over 2.5 days in an extremely high-pressure environment. Taking him to the surface too quickly could have caused decompression sickness, which in extreme cases can also be lethal. Fortunately, due to their job of installing underwater oil pipes, the divers were uniquely equipped to deal with these exact issues. More specifically, they had a pressurized diving bell attached to the vessel, which they put Harrison in after consulting a doctor.
Fuck.
Had this been a standard diving crew
see
with
all this
regular
technology,
scuba gear,
bro?
they wouldn't have had anything to keep Harrison alive. Once back on the surface, he also had to spend some more time in a decompression chamber to avoid decompression sickness, and was fairly okay after that. However, while he recovered physically, the mental trauma of being trapped in an upside-down boat on the ocean floor for over 2 days with no idea if anyone was coming to save him left him with PTSD,
Fuck
something
yeah,
he is
Wood.
still recovering from to this
What
day.
the fuck? That's a
On December
99.999%
13,
chance dying,
2015,
bro.
YouTuber Kodiak Thunder uploaded a
he
video showing the
survived.
near-death experience he had while diving. Unlike many other divers, Kodiak's motive wasn't to just dive as deep as he could or reach some underwater landmark.
Okay.
Instead, his diving
Whoa,
sessions
whoa, whoa,
were
whoa, what the
catching
fuck is that,
fish and
bro?
crustaceans by hand or with a spear gun.
Holy shit.
But while chasing a lobster, he
Holy
swam too far
shit.
into an underwater cave. He managed to catch the lobster he was after, but when he turned around,
That's
he had no
sick.
idea how to get out.
Wait, what? What did he say? It's a fucking loophole? Dude, why do you keep chasing him, bro? Get out of there! Oh my god. Oh my god!
Fortunately, after swimming around in the cave for a few minutes, he was able to find the exit and swim out without any trouble.
Oh, okay,
However,
okay.
this was incredibly lucky. The thing is, diving on its own is incredibly dangerous. A single distraction can quickly spiral into an irreversible tragedy. But unless they're very deep, divers at least have the option to just swim up to the surface and wait for rescue. Though, not with cave diving. One of the primary hazards in a cave is the environment itself. Unlike the
Yeah,
open
bro, what the
ocean,
fuck?
many underwater caves have floors covered in extremely fine silt. A poorly
What's that?
controlled fin kick, or even the exhaust bubbles from a regulator hitting the ceiling can dislodge this sediment. This creates a silt out, a condition where the water's visibility drops to absolute zero instantly. Divers' high-powered lights become useless, and in some extreme cases, the diver can't even see their own hands, let alone their surroundings. This also makes them unable to see their gauges or the guidelines. In short, they no longer know where they're going, where they're supposed to go, or whether they're getting the right gas mixture. At best, they can keep swimming and hope the cave is straight enough to eventually lead them away from the murky water.
Fuck.
But if they can't monitor their gases,
Never
nitrogen
fucking dive,
poisoning can
boys.
become a serious problem.
It's
It
a
impairs
fucking
both
life
their
lesson of the
cognitive and
video.
motor function, leaving them to take their final breaths in the cave unless someone is there to rescue them. Even then, rescue isn't always an option. Many underwater caves are extremely narrow, and with tanks and other essential gear, navigating these tight spaces becomes even harder. In most cases, there isn't even enough room to turn around, so if one diver passes out, the others can get trapped behind them and lose their lives there as well. One of the most well-known cases of this exact scenario happened on February 6, 2014, when a team of 5 Finnish cavers visited Norway to go cave diving through Plura Cave. All 5 of them were veteran cave divers and knew exactly.
He looks like the actor from fucking Hot Tub Time Machine. And he was in Ballers. Was that what it's called? With The Rock? Is it the football movie? Not football show? Shit was lit, bro. Shit was lit.
Exactly what they were doing. They even had mapped out the exact route they planned to follow.
Whoa.
However, as they were crossing the narrowest section of the cave, the cylinder of one of the divers got stuck, preventing him from moving forward and blocking the others behind him. The chaos of the situation resulted in 2 of the divers panicking, failing to monitor their gauges, and passing away within minutes.
No!
The other 3 barely made it out alive as well. One had to squeeze past the stuck diver by removing his gear and swimming the rest of the way, gasping for air from tiny pockets along the ceiling. The remaining 2 had to turn back and exit through the original entrance with almost no air left in their tanks. The fact that any of them made it out alive was nothing short of a miracle, highlighting the true horror of underwater cave diving.
Yeah, I would never do that shit in
Because
my
when
life,
things go even slightly wrong during a cave dive, even the most experienced and well-prepared divers can struggle to survive.
Wow. Fucking life lesson of the video, boys and girls. To never dive. Never go fucking scuba diving. That's the scariest thing ever. And scuba cave diving, to be exact. That's the scariest thing ever. Let's just stay aware. Stay prepared. And I don't know. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. So